Respiration in organisms. One day, Bhojo was eagerly waiting to meet his grandparents, who were coming to the town after a year. He was in a real hurry as he wanted to receive them at the bus stop. He ran fast and reached the bus stop in a few minutes. He was breathing rapidly. His grandmother asked him why he was breathing so fast. Bhojo told her that he came running all the way, but the question got stuck in his mind. He wondered why running makes a person breathe faster. The answer to the Bhojo's question lies in understanding why we breathe. Breathing is a part of respiration. Let us learn about respiration. Now, why do we respire? In a chapter 2, you learnt that all organisms are made of small microscopic units called cells. A cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of any organisms. Each cell of an organism perform a certain function such as nutrition, transport, excretion, and reproduction. To perform these functions, the cell needs energy. Even when we are eating, sleeping, or reading, we require energy. But where does this energy came from? Can you say why parents insist that you should eat regularly? The food has stored energy, which is released during respiration. Therefore, all living organisms respire to get energy from food. During breathing, we breathe in air. You know that air contains oxygen. We breathe out air which is rich in carbon dioxide. The air we breathe in is transport to all parts of the body and ultimately to each cell. In the cells, oxygen in the air helps in the breakdown of food. The process of breakdown of a food in the cell with the release of energy is called as what cellular respiration. Cellular respiration takes place in the cells of all organisms. In the cell, the food, that is glucose, is broken down into carbon dioxide and water using oxygen. When a breakdown of glucose occurs with the use of oxygen, it is called as aerobic respiration. Um, food, food can also be breakdown without using oxygen. This is called anaerobic respiration. Breakdown of food releases a large amount of energy, glucose, in the process of oxygen. Glucose in the presence of oxygen, it produces carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. We should know that there are some organisms such as yeast that can survive in the absence of air. They are called anaerobes. They get energy through anaerobic respiration. In the absence of oxygen, glucose breaks down into alcohol and carbon dioxide as given below. Glucose in the absence of oxygen, it produces alcohol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. Our muscle cells can also respire anaerobically, but only for a short time. When there is a temporary deficiency of oxygen during heavy exercise, fast running, cycling, walking for many hours, or heavy weight lifting, the demand of energy is high, but the supply of oxygen to produce the energy is limited. Then anaerobic respiration takes place in the muscle cells to fulfill the demand of energy. Glucose in the muscles, in the absence of energy, it produces lactic acid plus energy. Have you ever wondered that why you you get a muscles cramps after heavy exercise? The cramps occur when muscle cells respire anaerobically. The partial breakdown of glucose produces a lactic acid. The accumulation of lactic acid causes our muscle cramps. We get relief from the cramps after a hot water bath or a massage. Can you guess why it is so? Hot water bath or massage improves the circulation of blood. As a result, the supply of oxygen to the muscle cells increases. The increases in the supply of oxygen results in the complete breakdown of lactic acid into carbon dioxide and water. Breathing. Activity 10.1. Close your nostrils and mouth tightly and look at a watch. What did you feel after some time? How long were you able to keep both of them closed? Note down the time for which you could hold your breath. So, now you know that you cannot survive for a long without breathing. Breathing means taking in a air rich in oxygen and giving out air rich in the carbon dioxide with the help of respiratory organs. The taking in the air rich in oxygen into the body is called inhalation, and giving out of air rich in the carbon dioxide is known as exhalation. It is continuous process. which goes on all the time and throughout the life of organism. The number of times a person breathes in a minute is termed as a breathing rate. During the breathing, inhalation and exhalation takes place alternately. A breath means one inhalation plus one exhalation. Would you like to find your breathing rate? Do you want to know whether it is constant or it changes according to the requirement of oxygen body? Let us find out by doing the following activity. Generally, we are not aware that we are breathing. However, if you try, you can count your rate of breathing and and out normally. Find out how many times you breathe in and breath out in a minute. Did you inhale the same number of times as you exhaled? Now count your breathing rate after a brisk walk and after running. Record your breathing rate as soon as you finish and also after complete rest. Tabular tabulate your findings and compare your breathing rate under the different condition with those of your classmates. From the above activity, you must have realized that whenever a person needs extra energy, he or she breathes faster. As a result, more oxygen is supplied to our cells. It speeds up the breakdown of the food and more energy is released. Does this explain why do we feel hungry after physical activity? When you feel drowsy, does your breathing rate slow down? Does your body receive a sufficient oxygen? That we have activity 10.3 shows the various activities carried out by a person during a normal. In a day, can you say in which activity the rate of breathing will be a slowest and in which it will be a fastest? Assign the numbers to the pictures in the orders of increasing rate of breathing according to our experience. Now, how do we breathe? Let us now learn about the mechanism of breathing. Normally, we take in the air through our nostrils. When we inhale air, it passes through our nostril into the nasal cavity. From the nasal cavity, the air reaches our lungs through the windpipe. Lungs are present in the chest cavity. This cavity is surrounded by ribs on these sides. A large muscular sheet called as diaphragm forms the floor of the chest cavity. Breathing involves the movement of the diaphragm and the rib cage. During the inhalation, ribs move up and out, and diaphragm moves down. And this movement increases the space in our chest cavity, and air pushes into the lungs, and the lungs get filled with the air during the exhalation. Ribs move down and inwards while diaphragm moves up. It's a formal position. This reduces the size of the chest cavity and air is pushed out of the lungs. Now these movements in our body can be felt easily. Take a deep breath. Keep your palm on the abdomen. Feel the movement of abdomen. That what do you find after having learnt that during breathing there are changes in the size of the chest cavity. Children got involved in the chest expansion competition. That everyone was boasting that she or he could expand it maximum. How about doing this activity in the classes with your classmates? Activity 10.4. Take a deep breath. Measure the size of the chest with a measuring tape and record your observation in a table 10.2. Measure the size of the chest again when explained and indicate which classmate shows the maximum expansion of the chest. We can understand the mechanism of breathing by a simple model. That activity 10.5. Take a wide plastic bottle. Remove the bottom. Get a Y-shaped glass or a plastic tube. Make a hole in the lid so that the tube may pass through it. To the forked end of the tube, fix two defaulted balloons. Introduce the tube into the bottle as shown figure 10.7. Now the cap bottle, seal it to make airtight. To the open base of the bottle, tie in a thin rubber or a plastic sheet using a large rubber band. To understand the expansion of the lungs, pull the rubber sheet from the base downwards and wash the balloons next. Next, push the rubber or plastic sheet up and observe the balloons. Did you see any changes in the balloons? Now, what do balloons in this model represent? What does the rubber sheet represent? Now you should be able to explain the mechanism of breathing. What do we breathe out? Activity 10.6. Take a slender, clean test tube or a glass plastic bottle. Make a hole in its lid and fix it on a bottle. Pour some freshly prepared lime water in the test tube. Insert a plastic straw through the hole in the lid in a such a way that it dips in a lime water. Now blow gently through a straw a few times. Is there a change in the appearance of the lime water? Can you explain this change on the basis of what you learnt in a chapter 6? You are aware that air we inhale or exhale is a mixture of gases. What do we exhale? Do you exhale only carbon dioxide or a mixture of gases? Along with it, you must have also observed that if you exhale or inhale on a mirror, a film of moisture appears on its surface. From where do these droplets come? Breathing in other animals. Animals such as elephants, lions, cows, goats, frogs, lizards, snakes, birds have lung in their chest cavities like the human beings. How do other organisms breathe? Do they also have a lungs like those of human beings? Let us find out. Cockroach. A cockroach has a small opening on the sides of its body. Other insects also have similar openings, and these openings are called spiracles. Insects have a network of air tubes called tracheae for a gas exchange. Oxygen-rich air rushes through the spiracles into the tracheal tubes, diffuses into the body tissue, and reaches every cell of the body. Similarly, carbon dioxide from the cells goes into the tracheal tube and moves out through spiracles. And these air tubes or tracheae are found only in the insects and not in any other group of animals. Earthworm. Recall from chapter 9 of class 7 that earthworms breathe through their skins. The skin of an earthworm feels moist and slimy on touching gases. Can easily pass through them, and through frogs have a pair of lungs like human beings. They have can also breathe through their skin, which is moist and slippery. Breathing underwater. Can we breathe and survive in water? There are many organisms which live in water. How do they breathe underwater? You have studied that the gills in a fish help them to use oxygen dissolved in water. Gills are projections of the skin. You may wonder how gills help in breathing. Gills are well supplied with the blood vessels for exchange of gases. Do plants also respire? Like other living organisms, plants also respire for their survival, as we have learnt. They also take in oxygen from the air and give out carbon dioxide in the cells. Oxygen is used to break down the glucose into carbon dioxide and water as in other organisms. In the plants, each part can independently take in oxygen from the air and give out carbon dioxide. You have already learnt in a chapter 1 that leaves of the plants have a tiny pores called stomata for exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Like other living cells of the plants, the root cells also need oxygen to generate energy. Roots take up air from the air spaces present between the soil particles. Can you guess what would happen if a potted plant is overwatered? In this chapter, you learnt that respiration is a vital biological process. All living organisms need to respire to get the energy needed for their survival.